Hello students, today we'll study a poem from your books Beehive, and the title of the poem is No Men Are Foreign, and it is written by James Kirkup. So first of all, let us see the title of the poem, that is No Men Are Foreign. What do we understand by this title? Foreign is a person who belongs to another country. So here the poet is saying that no men are foreign, means not a single person, a single man belongs to another country. So he wants to say that all men are same, all men are equal. So we can say that here the poet wants to promote the thought of universal brotherhood. The poet here says that all people are same, as they take birth, they grow up, they eat, they die, means the process is same for all the men in the world, and all the people are getting nature's gift like sunshine, rain, everything in the same way. They are not discriminated by the nature. And about the boundaries, these boundaries are made by people themselves. God had not made any boundary. Because of these boundaries, the earth is divided in many parts, many countries, many continents, many states, and many cities. But the poet is against this mentality that they are living, they are dying in the same way, they are getting the nature's gift in the same way. So the poet doesn't consider any man foreign. He considers every man same. Now let us see the explanation of the poem. First, let us see first stanza. Remember, no men are strange, no country is foreign. Beneath all uniforms, a single body breathes. Like ours, the land our brothers walk upon. Is earth like this, in which we all shall lie? Here, beneath means under. And first line, remember, no men are strange. Strange means a person who is unknown to you. No country is foreign. So you can see that in the very first line the poet says that here on the earth no men are unknown to each other and no countries are foreign. Means there should be no boundaries in the world. One world, one earth should be one for all. And all the people living in this world are brother and sisters. Beneath all uniforms, a single body breathes. Now the person who wears uniform, you can say here soldiers. Like soldiers wear uniform, like Indian soldiers wear different uniform, Russian soldiers wear different, and soldiers from America, they also wear different uniforms. But under all these uniforms, a single body breathes. Only one person is there, same kind of person is there under different kinds of uniforms. They are all same kind of human beings. A single body breathes like ours means all the soldiers in the world breathes in the same way like we people breathe. The land our brothers walk upon is earth like this, in which we all shall lie. The poet says that all the soldiers are our brothers, and the earth on which they walk, that is the same earth on which we will also lie after we will die. We all shall lie means after a person dies, he is put into a grave or he is cremated. The poet says that we will also mix with the same earth on which we are walking now. So in this stanza, the poet has said that no people in the world are strange to one another, no country is foreign, the world is one. No doubt the people used to wear, the soldiers used to wear different uniforms, but under these uniforms there is only single body which is same. And all soldiers are our brothers, and they are also walking on the earth as we people are walking, and later on when we will die, we will mix with the same earth. Now let us see the second stanza. They too, aware of sun and air and water, are fed by peaceful harvests, by war's long winter starved. Their hands are ours, and in their lines we read a labor not different from our own. Now in this stanza, who are they? They here refers to the person who belong to another country. The poet says that if a person belongs to another country, he also gets the same sunshine, same air, same water as we people are getting. Are fed by peaceful harvest means they also grow crops, peaceful crops, they used to eat them like us. By war's long winter starved, and like us, they people means the people live in foreign land, they also starved during the war or the long winter, means there is shortage of food because of war or the winter. Then the poet says, their hands are ours, and in their lines we read a labor not different from our own. Here the poet says that their hands are also same like ours, means their hand are and our hands are same. As we do hard work, they also do hard work. So in this stanza, the poet says that all people in the world are getting same sunshine, air and water, and they are not discriminated by God, and they are fed by peaceful harvest, means every person is working hard to get food, and every person is affected by war or winter, means they have shortage of food during the war and winter, and all people in the world have same hands, means they do hard work in the same way for their stomach. Now third stanza. Remember, they have eyes like ours that wake or sleep, and strength that can be won by love. In every land is common life that all can recognize and understand. Now here the poet is asking the readers to remember something. The poet says that all people in the world have two eyes like us, two hands, two legs. They have eyes like ours that wake or sleep, means all have eyes like we have that wake and sleep, and strength that can be won by love, and all people in the world have the strength that can be won by love, means all people have the power to win another by love. Then he says that in every land is common life that all can recognize and understand. Then the poet is saying that what is common in every country, the common thing is life. Wherever you go, means any country you go, the common thing you will see, that is living beings, human beings. And we can recognize them easily as they are like us. They are having two eyes, two legs, two hands like us, and we can also understand their feelings if we are emotional towards them. And if we try to understand their feelings, their emotions, then we will never fight with one another. And in the next stanza, the poet says, let us remember, whenever we are told to hate our brothers, it is ourselves that we shall dispossess, betray, condemn. Remember, we who take arms against each other. The poet says that always remember that whenever we are told to hate our brothers, means if any person belongs to another country and we are told to hate that person, it is ourselves that we shall dispossess, betray, condemn. Remember, we who take arms against each other. Means if we are speaking ill of any other person, or if we are doing cheating, that is very wrong thing. We should not do anything like this. It all creates negative energy. And the poet wants to say that we should stay away from all these things. We should not consider anyone as our enemy. So basically here poet wants to say that we should not hate anyone, we should not speak ill of anyone, because all these negative things can be resultant in a war, and war is never good for anyone, for any party. It is not good. It always brings destruction. Then the poet says, remember, we who take arms against each other. Arms here means weapons. The poet says that whenever we pick weapons against each other, then what happens? Let us see in the next paragraph. It is the human earth that we defile. Defile means to make dirty or pollute. Means whenever we pick up weapons to harm one another, then we human beings make this earth dirty, or we are polluting the earth. What is the result of the war? There is bloodshed, fire, and so many people are killed in a war. So ultimately the earth is polluted by the human beings. Our hells of fire and dust outrage the innocence of air that is everywhere our own. Remember, no men are foreign and no countries strange. The poet here says that whenever there is war, there is fire and dust that outrage the innocence of air that is everywhere our own. That because of the war, there is violation of the purity of the air. Everywhere there is dust and fire, and the air gets polluted. So in the end, the poet wants to convey a message to us all that we should never indulge in war. That is always harmful to everyone. There is pollution on the earth and in the air, and we consider one another as our enemy. Means there are all negative effects of the war. So the poet says that we should consider all men in this earth as our brothers, and we should live in peace. We should never indulge in war. And finally, in the end, the last line is, the first line is again the poet is repeating in the end, remember, no men are foreign and no countries strange. Now let us discuss the literary devices used in the poem. First of all, let me tell you that there is no rhyme scheme in the poem. This poem is written in free verse. Next literary device used in the first stanza, that is alliteration. What is alliteration? That is repetition of the consonant sounds in two or more closely connected words. Like in second line you can see body breathes. Both the words are started with ba sound. This is called alliteration. The next device used in this stanza is metaphor. Metaphor is an indirect comparison between two things. Like in second line, beneath all uniforms a single body breathes. Here the uniform refers to the military uniform worn by different soldiers of different countries. So this is uses of the device of metaphor. Next literary device used in the whole poem, that is repetition. As you can see, the word remember is used in the whole poem. This remember word is being repeated 5 times because the poet wants the reader to remember this thing. That's why he is giving emphasis on this word. Next repetition is used in the sentence, remember, no men are strange, no countries foreign. This line is repeated in last stanza, 5th stanza, last line. Remember, no men are foreign and no countries strange. Although there is some changes in the words in the last stanza, like no men are foreign are written first and no country stay. There is some change in these two sentences, but still we can say that this is repetition of the sentence. Next, in stanza 2, alliteration is there. By war's winter. Here war sound is being repeated. This is called alliteration. Another device used in the second stanza is metaphor. Again there is indirect comparison in stanza 2. By war's long winter starved. Here war time is compared to the long winter. The poet says that during war and during long winter the people are starved. They have lack of food. Next literary device used in the whole poem, that is enjambment. What is enjambment? When any sentence continue in the next sentence also, that is enjambment. Here in first stanza you can see a single body breathes like ours. Here breathes, up to breathes, the sentence is not complete. It is continued in the next sentence also, like ours. Okay, this is called enjambment. And again in third stanza you can see, and strength that can be won by love. The line is not complete here up to 1. It is continued to the next line also, by love. This is enjambment. So you can see enjambment is used in the whole poem. So that's all about the explanation and the literary devices in the poem. Thank you so much.